My son believed his wife instead of me, not the mother who raised him, fed him, protected him, and made him the man he is today. They stood together and sent me to a mental asylum, treating me like someone who had lost her mind. I worked my whole life to make him successful. And yet, he threw me away because his wife told him I was acting crazy. I survived that place for 3 years. Today, I live alone in a small house. And today, I finally want to tell what really happened. I worked 3 jobs. Mornings at a bakery. Afternoons cleaning houses. Nights sewing clothes. I had blisters on my hands for years. Ethan was a bright child. Always reading, always curious. I pushed him toward education. I saved every dollar I could, sometimes skipping meals so he could buy books. When he got into a good college in Seattle, I cried with pride. He hugged me and said, "Mom, I'll take care of you one day." Those words kept me alive during my hardest days. Years passed. Ethan graduated top of his class, became a software engineer, and moved to New York. He called me often. Sent me gifts. Paid for my rent. He even insisted I move to Seattle with him. I felt blessed. My boy was finally giving back. And then he met Alyssa. She worked in marketing at his company, smart, stylish, confident. The kind of woman who made you feel small without saying a word. The first time she shook my hand, she didn't look at my face. Just a quick up-down of my clothes. I ignored it. I was too grateful for Ethan's happiness. After their wedding, they bought a house in New York. They invited me to visit for a few weeks. That's when I started noticing things. Alyssa didn't like when I cooked. Didn't like when I cleaned. Didn't like when Ethan and I talked for long. If I told a story, she'd interrupt. If I suggested something, she'd change the topic. One evening, Ethan and I were laughing at an old memory. Alyssa walked in and said, "Ethan, the trash needs to be taken out. Now." Her tone was wrong. Cold. Controlling. But Ethan went. I thought every marriage has adjustments. I stayed silent. Slowly, she started reshaping Ethan's mind about me. If I misplaced something, "Ethan, she's forgetting again." If I asked something twice, she's repeating the same things. If I stayed quiet, she looks confused. One afternoon, I was making tea. Alyssa whispered loudly enough so I could hear. "Your mom is acting strange these days." Ethan looked at me with doubt for the first time. My heart sank. Months went by. One night, I was helping them decorate for Christmas. I accidentally dropped a box of ornaments. Alyssa rushed over dramatically. "Oh my God, Ethan. See? This is what I was telling you." I said it was just an accident. But she kept going. She zones out. She forgets things. I'm scared something might happen. Ethan looked at me, confused and worried. I wanted to hug him and scream. "I am fine. Don't listen to her." But I stayed silent. I didn't want to be the reason for a fight. One evening, they were whispering in the hallway. They thought I was asleep. Alyssa cried softly. "Ethan, we need to think about our future kids. Your mom is behaving unstable." Ethan said, "I don't know, Alyssa. She raised me. She's always been fine." Alyssa snapped. "She will ruin our peace. I don't want her living with us." Then she said the line that destroyed everything. "Please do something about her before it gets worse." Next morning, Ethan wouldn't meet my eyes. 2 days later, Ethan said he was taking me for a checkup. I trusted him. But when we reached the building, I saw bars on windows and heard screaming inside. I froze. This isn't a clinic. Ethan kept his eyes down. A nurse approached. Patient for admission? Patient. That word stabbed my chest. I grabbed Ethan's arm. Son, please don't leave me here. Please look at me. Alyssa stepped forward. She needs help. Sign the papers. Ethan signed. I will never forget the sound of that pen on paper. They walked away, while I begged them not to. That moment broke everything inside me. The asylum was cold, loud, and terrifying. People screamed at night. Doors slammed. Medicine trays rattled. They gave me pills that made my hands shake. Locked me in rooms with flickering lights. Called me Patient 304. I cried every night. I wasn't crying for myself. I was crying for the truth no one believed. 3 years passed like that. 3 long years. One day, a nurse named Rachel arrived. She spoke gently. Asked real questions. Listened. She noticed my clarity. My memory. My behavior. She checked my file. It said, patient exhibits delusions. Signed by family. She raised her eyebrows. This doesn't match who you are. Rachel requested a reevaluation. Doctors examined me for weeks. Finally, the truth came out. I was mentally fit. I always was. The system released me. But no one came to pick me up. Not Ethan. Not Alyssa. Not a single call. I stepped out of that building with a plastic bag of my clothes. And nowhere to go. Rachel helped me find a small rental house in New Jersey. 1 bedroom. Old carpet. Leaky sink. But it gave me peace. More peace than my family ever gave me. I wake up early. Make tea. Sit by the window. Sometimes I watch mothers holding their children's hands. And wonder where I went wrong. I was not perfect. But I didn't deserve to be thrown away. I didn't deserve to be silenced. To be labeled insane. I was just inconvenient for Alyssa. And Ethan believed her over me. I don't hate my son. But I mourn him. I mourn the boy who hugged me after school. I mourn the boy who said he'd take care of me. That boy is gone. Replaced by a man who trusted a lie more than his own mother. I survived the asylum. But I didn't survive my son's betrayal. And that pain sits with me. Every single day. If you have a mother, listen to her. Trust her. Protect her. Before someone else's voice destroys the bond you will never get back. The day I left the asylum, I didn't tell my old neighbors. I didn't tell my relatives. I didn't tell a soul where I was going. I disappeared from the world. Just like my family made me disappear. But life doesn't hide truth for too long. One evening, I was sitting on my small porch, watering the only 3 plants I had, when my phone rang. A number I didn't recognize. Mrs. Hayes? This is Officer Lewis from Seattle Police. Your son and daughter-in-law came looking for you. They filed a missing person report. I froze. For 3 years. I begged for their presence. For 1 call. For 1 visit. For 1 Mom, how are you? And now suddenly, they were searching for me? I didn't say anything. The officer continued. They said they went to the hospital and were told you were discharged months ago. They also said your house was sold, and they have no idea where you live now. Sold? I didn't sell anything, but I knew who did. Alyssa. She wanted everything, even the house I built with my husband's memories. 2 days later, I heard loud knocks on my door. I took a deep breath. I knew who it was. When I opened it, Ethan stood there. Eyes swollen, shirt wrinkled, face pale like he hadn't slept in days. Behind him, Alyssa was clutching her purse tightly, trying to keep her composure. Mom, Ethan whispered. The word hit me like a wave. My throat tightened. My hands trembled. I had waited 3 years for that word, but something inside me didn't move toward him. Something inside me stayed still, cold, protected. Why are you here? I asked. Before Ethan could speak, Alyssa stepped forward. Margaret, thank God you're okay. We searched everywhere. The hospital didn't tell us. I raised my hand. Don't lie to me. Not here. Not in my home. Alyssa's face turned stiff. Her fake innocence dropped for a second. Mom, please, Ethan tried again. We didn't know. We were told you needed help. We were told you were losing your memory. I stared directly into his eyes. You believed a woman you married over the mother who raised you. Ethan's lips trembled. He looked down. Alyssa jumped in. Margaret, we only wanted. Don't say my name. My voice cracked. Not after what you did. I walked back into my living room and picked up a thick file from the table. My medical reports. My evaluations. Rachel's notes. Everything. I handed it to Ethan. This is who I really was. When you locked me away. He opened the file. His eyes darted through the words. No mental instability. Sound judgment. Clear memory functions. False family claims. His face turned pale. Alyssa tried to snatch the papers. I pulled them back. You knew exactly what you were doing. Alyssa swallowed hard. For the first time, she had no words. Mom. I'm sorry. Ethan's voice finally cracked. I should have listened to you. I should have questioned her. I should have asked you what you felt. I was scared. And she kept telling me. He looked at Alyssa, as if truly seeing her for the first time. You said she was unstable. You said she'd hurt our future kids. You said she would ruin our life. Alyssa stepped back. Her eyes widened. Ethan, don't twist things. You ruined my mother's life. Ethan shouted. For 3 years. 3 years, Alyssa. His voice echoed off my walls. She stood frozen. For the first time, Ethan wasn't under her control. Ethan knelt in front of me. Mom, please. Give me one chance. Let me fix everything. Come home. Please. Tears flowed down his cheeks. I looked at him. The son I raised. The boy who once promised to take care of me. But behind every tear, I saw 3 years of abandonment. 3 years of silence. 3 years of pills. 3 years of locked doors. And I saw Alyssa behind him. The reason behind all of it. No, I whispered. Ethan froze. Alyssa let out a small gasp. No, he repeated softly. I stood up. You lost the right to call me Mom. The day you left me in that asylum. His face collapsed into pain. You came here because you want the house. You want property. You want to know where I am. So you can control things again. Ethan shook his head desperately. No, Mom. Get out, I said firmly. Their eyes widened. Both of you. Alyssa found her voice. You can't do this. We're your family. I stepped closer. You are the reason. My family was destroyed. She opened her mouth to argue. I pointed at the door. Leave. Ethan cried again. Not loud. Not dramatic. Silent tears. Of a man watching his world collapse. He tried to touch my hand. I stepped back. That hurt him more than anything. Alyssa grabbed his arm. Trying to leave with dignity. But dignity doesn't live where cruelty lives. At the door, Ethan turned around. Mom, if you ever need anything at all, please call me. I didn't respond. Alyssa whispered angrily. Let's go, Ethan. She made her choice. And they left. I closed the door gently. Not with anger. Not with pride. With peace. For the first time. In many years. I chose myself. A year passed. I built a small life. Neighbors who wave. A librarian who knows my name. A garden with roses and basil. One afternoon, Rachel visited me from Seattle. We had tea. We talked for hours. At one point she asked, Do you regret sending them away? I smiled softly. Regret is for people who had a choice. I didn't. A year passed. I built a small life. Neighbors who wave. A librarian who knows my name. A garden with roses and basil. One afternoon, Rachel visited me from Seattle. We had tea. We talked for hours. At one point she asked, Do you regret sending them away? I smiled softly. Regret is for people who had a choice. I didn't. Sometimes I see Ethan's messages on my phone. Long apologies. Long explanations. Long regrets. I don't reply. Not because I hate him, but because some wounds should not be reopened. I survived the asylum, but I didn't survive my own son's choices. And now I choose peace over painful love. If you have a mother, love her before someone else twists your love into doubt. Because once a mother walks away, she never returns the same. And sometimes, she doesn't return at all.